it almost feels like walking on a stage, and I get butterflies and I get jittery. Ah! But in a good way. See if this live stream is working. Oh, I think it's working. Thankfully, yes. Just remember to turn off the audio because otherwise it gets doubled up. Excellent, so let's get cracking. So I've got here a folder with all the different bits and bobs, and that's how thick it is. And I'm gonna go through them one by one and like tell you about them, right? So I like looking through old stuff and just reminiscing, and this is the sort of thing that I haven't looked at for like years, so God knows. I've already looked at it before making this video though, so I kind of know what to expect, right? So this is the first one. It's pink and it's in Romanian because I was born there and I went to school there until I was 15, so until the first year of high school. And it says distinction. It says class 1B, so that was first grade or year 1, and distinction was like a prize if you did quite well, and it says given to my name for very good results at learning. So it's really vague, right? And if I can show you again, it says in the academic year 1999 2000. So this was from the last millennium. It's very cute because the teachers really made an effort to make this really special and significant, even though it was first grade, and like there was no reason for it to be like a big deal, but they still made it seem like it was a big deal. And then second grade, again, distinction. The same as the other one, except that this one says very good results at learning and also behavior. And I was like, okay. I was a very shy child in primary school. I was really inhibited. I didn't really stand out. And then this really strange thing, Kraft cares. So Kraft, which is one of the big food producers, ran this thing at school, and I don't really remember it because I think I didn't actually take part in it, which was basically an initiative about food called I Eat Healthily Too. I didn't take part in it, but I just got the diploma anyway. And then moving on to third grade, again, distinction. A nice fancy yellow one this time. Moved on from pink. And then this one actually says excellent results in learning and irreproachable behavior. And I was like, I was well behaved, obviously, but also irreproachable was because I was just being quiet. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing. And then this is like a little mini version. It's only like an A5 instead of an A4, and this was just given before Christmas as kind of like in the first semester. It's like addressed to the parents, like, dear parents, we congratulate you for your child's very good results and happy holidays or something. And I colored it in. It wasn't colored in to begin with. And then this is the last one that I got in primary school, which was 4 years. This is a different format. It says distinction again. Excellent results at studying and good behavior. And my primary school teacher's name, she'd got married, so she changed her name, so It's a different surname on this one. That was 5th grade. So this was like a new level, and it kind of went downhill from there. But before 6th grade, we got another little extracurricular thing, which is this. On the back, it actually says, in the year 2003, the association Kangaroo Sans Frontières has reunited at the kangaroo game competition. I'm just translating as I go along, so it makes no sense. Where over 3 million participants took part from 29 countries, welcome amongst them. And this is the map of the different countries. So the kangaroo competition is a maths competition. I don't know if it still runs. It's a maths competition, and you get all these like really fun, quirky maths problems that you have to solve. I don't think I did that well in it. I did like very average, but I got a diploma anyway because that's what you get when you're in secondary school, I guess. And then finally, this was 6th grade, second prize. I think it was the first time that I didn't get the first prize anymore. And also there are not distinctions like in primary school. They're prizes, like first prize, second prize, third prize. But like sometimes more than one person got first prize or second prize, so it wasn't that straightforward. And now this was another extracurricular for Olympiads, which were competitions, extracurricular competitions for those who wanted to like go above and beyond the basic curriculum. And this one was for just getting a prize. Well, it wasn't a prize. I don't know if I got a prize, but it was for French. And it was like in secondary school, so I probably wrote like a couple of paragraphs, and that was enough to propel me to the podium or whatever, because not that many people learn French, so it wasn't as popular and as big of a deal as the English language one, for which I think I have one as well. But before that, I hated this diploma. This was for 7th grade, so it should have been like a big one, like for 5th grade, 6th grade, etc. But instead it's this like really crappy small one, because the teacher couldn't be bothered or something. So it's just second prize for 7th grade, generally. And then the same ones, she literally just bought a bunch of these and just gave them to everyone for the different prizes and things. And this one is for the English language Olympiad that took place during my 7th grade. And I got, it didn't even say like what prize I got, it just said good results. So this teacher really could not be asked. And then for this one, it's also for French, and for some reason, she gave me one for taking part at like the local level, and then another one for taking part at a different level. And this one actually says mention, as in not first, second or third prize, but mentions, and there were multiple mentions. And she thought I got a mention, but she was wrong. I actually got like 3rd prize. So I crossed it out with a marker. I was really pissed off, especially because she was the French teacher, so she was supposed to know that I went to this French language Olympiad and how well I had done, and she thought I did worse than I actually did, so there was me being thoroughly disappointed with the situation. Now this is interesting. A very simple certificate, SCROLL, the Scottish Romanian Language Link, to certify that I took part in the summer school in conversational English. This was really cool. I had so much fun. I was one of the most like advanced students, so I talked in English all the time, and I must have been really cocky or something because some of the like really young students found me intimidating, and like one of their parents came to school and talked to the teacher, and then the teacher talked to me, and I felt so bad because I had no idea that's how I was coming across, and I just felt horrible. Um, but the teacher was really amazing, and I actually had some correspondence with her after that, and it just felt so nice. I loved it. Okay, and this is the first certificate that I actually got in the UK, and it was after going to college to do GCSEs in 1 year, which I did. I did just 5 GCSEs in 1 year instead of going to school and doing 2 years. And everyone because a lot of the people that were doing GCSEs in 1 year at college were people that had done them before and didn't pass or wanted to do them again at college. They also required us to do level 2 certificates in literacy and numeracy, so that if we failed the GCSEs, we had this to show something for our work. So here's my level 2 certificate in adult literacy, and my level 2 certificate in adult numeracy. And I remember at this point I was 16, so I found all this content really easy. I don't remember actually revising for GCSEs. I did 5. I did English language. No, I did English language, maths, science, additional science, and psychology. So it was fairly easy, but I wanted to do that to get adjusted to the different system before actually doing A-levels, which I expected to be actually quite hard and challenging, which they were. And this is my psychology GCSE A, and I really loved psychology, and I thought I wanted to do psychology later on, but I'll get back to what happened to that later when I get to A-levels. And these are the other GCSEs, science, additional science and maths, AAA. I mean, it felt a bit unfair because I only did 5 GCSEs in 1 year, so it was kind of, I don't know, it wasn't stressful or anything. And then the one that I was proudest of was English. It's just English. It's just confusing because at A-level it's English language or literature or whatever, but this is just English. I got an A-star! Yay! It was my only A-star at GCSE. So I was super excited. The sort of excited that you would be when you've just moved to the UK and you've got an A-star in English. So that makes you feel good. And I remember that paper. One of the questions on the English GCSE paper that year was something about who is your role model, like who is someone that you look up to and you appreciate and why. And I picked Rachel Maddow, who is an anchor on MSNBC, which is one of the main news channels in the US. And I said that I was so, like, I thought she was amazing because she got like a Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford and did a PhD in politics, and I was really into Rachel Maddow. Like, I used to watch her like all the time on the internet. I got over it now. I got over like US politics or whatever, so that's that. And then this, the UEA Medical Aspirations Boot Camp course. So it says academic sessions in the UEA and experience within a hospital setting during a 3-day residential program. This was really good actually. We got to actually stay in the really nice accommodation. And I thought I didn't really want to do medicine, but I was really into psychology, like I said before. So I thought maybe I can do medicine and then do like psychiatry or something. So I went anyway, and obviously nothing came of it. So it was a fun activity though. So And then, of course, we move on to the A-levels. Back in the day, A-levels were actually done as AS and A2. So I took 4 subjects at AS, and I got my grades for AS through first. And my subjects were biology, English language and literature, chemistry and psychology. And I got AABB. I was kind of devastated about psychology because it was what I wanted to do at uni potentially. So to get a B was kind of like, maybe I'm not that good, or maybe it's not that good of an idea. And also, at this point of getting back the AS grades, I had applied to... Had I applied? Yeah, I think I had applied. So the universities were going to get these grades and decide whether they were going to give me an interview. And for the university that I applied for, that had offers of, like, I don't know, AAA, like, these grades weren't potentially good enough. So yeah, I was kind of devastated. Yeah. There's people who are like, how dare you be devastated with those grades? And it's like, it's all very relative, honestly. Like, it's like the grades don't really matter on their own. Like, you don't do A-levels to, like, have these specific grades. Like, the grades are only as significant as what you're going to do with them. And if what you want to do has a certain threshold and you don't meet that threshold, it doesn't matter that, oh, you can do something different, or that these people would like to have your grades. It's like, in your situation, that is how it feels for you. Moving along. So I had got a B in chemistry, and I retook chemistry AS to bump it up to an A, which was a good idea because I did quite badly in A2, and if I hadn't bumped this up to an A, it might have been a C overall instead of a B overall, which is a spoiler that I've just given you. And then this is just the grand finale for A-levels of the actual A-levels. Biology A, chemistry B, English language and literature B. Now, I was really mad about the English language and literature one because half of the A2 grade was the coursework, and we got to just submit a draft to our teacher, and because of the grade boundaries, we couldn't get, like, the actual grade that we would be assigned at the end, but we would just get feedback to know, you know, are we doing okay? Like, are we doing okay for, like, the grade that we want, like, the expected grade? And my teacher was really happy with my coursework and said, it's really good, definitely an A or a B. And I was like, okay, so I didn't think about it. And then when I finally got the grade for the coursework, it was a C. And I was like, how is this, like, she was so confident, she was like, it's great. So I expected an A or a B on it, and I got a C. So I was like, how can you get it so wrong? That really frustrated me. And this is a really funny one. Norfolk County Scholar is what you get, my sister got this as well, is what you get if you got A-levels of A, B, B or higher. And it just says it recognises the standard of excellence achieved by me in advanced level studies, signed by the Cabinet Member for Children's Services and Director of Children's Services. It's so weird that it says Children's Services, because, like, at the point at which I got my A-levels, I was like 18, like, Children's Services anyway. So I think this is just, like, a symbolic thing. Like, this is not really something that anyone would demand of you, or something that you can, maybe you can just put it on your CV or something, I guess. Right, now this is where the fun stuff begins. As I started my degree, and wanted to get, because the degree was not going to be enough, like, I needed to get some work experience and do some actual research. I wanted to do an internship, and I'd applied for an internship organized by the Sense Research Foundation, that does research into aging and tackling the various aspects of aging. And I didn't get in the first time, so I applied again, and this was like the first big break. And this was the letter for like getting accepted into the internship program that was going to take place in the US, in New York State. So I mean, I was so over the moon. Like this was amazing. I was so excited by it, and well, what happened is that there was a visa issue, so I wasn't going to be able to go, and I was crushed. Like I can't describe it. It was a few months of just thinking that maybe something could be sorted out, but thinking, you know what, this could just fall through completely, and the first big break that I've got could just not even happen. And what ended up happening was I couldn't get a visa to go to the US, but there was there was another project by the same foundation taking place at the Institute of Biotechnology at the University of Cambridge. So I ended up going there instead, which arguably was probably way better anyway. So it's all well when it ends well, and this one definitely ended well. But a lot of ups and downs. And then for the second research internship in Germany by the DAAD, which is the German Academic Exchange Service. It's got the translation in English on the back, and it just says document of award for this scholarship, basically, it was like a 2 to 3 month thing. It was like a bioinformatics project. It was really cool. It's really well organized. So we got before the internship period, we got to go to Berlin for like a couple of weeks to do a quick like German language course, and then in the middle of our internship, we were mostly, well, most of them were from the US and Canada, and then there were a few from the UK, and I was one of them. So we were in all different places, different cities across Germany, and in the middle of our internship, we would all come together in Heidelberg for this like 3-day event to meet each other, and it was really good. It was really good. Like we got to Berlin, and then they just gave us like €100, and they were like, just go have fun, and we were like, oh, great. Like, I'm not going to complain about that. And then this is the certificate that I got from the Berlin couple of weeks. Just like A1 breakthrough, just some basic German. Like, I can count and stuff. Like, I can't really speak, but it was really good of them to do that. And what follows is the pièce de résistance, which is graduating from university from Birkbeck and getting my degree. I love the yellow tint of this paper. It's from like amongst all these different papers for different things, this one feels like it's the most solid, probably because I spent 4 years on it. So, and also because it was like a true stepping stone in terms of going from just dreaming about being in different places and being able to do research and doing different things, and then by the end of it, having really had a break and essentially more or less got there. So that's quite emotional. Anyway, it says, if you'll indulge me, it says, University of London, Birkbeck College, my name, having completed the approved course of study and passed the examinations, has this day been admitted by Birkbeck College to the University of London degree of Bachelor of Science with first-class honours in the following field of study, biological sciences, signed by the Master of Birkbeck, who I've met several times, and the Vice-Chancellor, 31st of July 2015. I'm going to show you this again because I like it so much. Oh, love it. There's more. There's actually more. So, iGEM 2015. iGEM was amazing. I was part of the first and only so far iGEM team that Birkbeck had. And by the way, lol, my old name, yeah, Ariana. Just realized that you would have seen all of this. Essentially, just a bunch of schools and universities trying to do genetic engineering in whatever lab they can get hold of, and there's just hundreds of teams from across the world, thousands of people, and some universities take it more seriously than others. They really pump a lot of money into it. I think Heidelberg are renowned for pumping like a stupid amount of money into this competition, and it gathers, everyone around the world gathers at the giant jamboree, which takes place in Boston in the autumn, and just presents their work. And the idea is to treat genetics as this modular field like engineering, where you can take different components and put them together in different ways to achieve different functions. So that's what we did. It was really fun. It was really fun. It was the first time that I went to the US for the Jamboree in Boston, and then we had some extra time. So some of us also went to New York City. So it was fun. And now we're moving into PhD territory. And in the first year, there was some modules to be done, and one of them was called SysMIC, which was essentially maths and computing for science. And we did it in MATLAB and R, statistics, modeling, that sort of thing. And this is just a certificate to say that I completed the first module. And then there's another one for having completed the second module. The reason that this course was put into the PhD course is to actually address the issue of a lot of scientists having a poor grasp on maths and statistics and programming, and I agree with it. I think it's definitely much needed, and I was very privileged to be able to do it. And then we got to the end. The last certificate in this pile of things is actually a radiation safety for lab workers course at King's College Hospital, which I had to do for one of the rotations that I was on. I actually never got to do the work with the radioactive materials, but I did the course, so I learned some stuff about handling radioactive materials. So yeah, that's it. Let me show you the pile at the end. Put it back together. It's not even that much. For like 17 years of my life, this is not much. But it's always fun to reminisce and go through and see that humble first distinction that I got in first grade. That was just a little fun piece of paper for teachers to give to kids to say, well done for what you've done in this academic year, all the way to far-flung parts of the world and radiation safety workshops. And there's loads of things that I didn't get a certificate for, but maybe we'll cover that in some of the other live lessons. So yeah, I think I'm going to check out and see you in the next one. Okay, bye.